Hello, my friends, and welcome back to another CPL First Chapter. My name is Mariah, and today we are going to be reading the first chapter of SpongeBob Squarepants Mysteries, Find a Missing Star. Now, this book is interesting because I grew up with SpongeBob. I absolutely love SpongeBob, and even today as an adult, I still love SpongeBob. It holds a very, very soft spot in my heart. I had no idea they made mystery books. I had no idea that these existed. I knew that they made little comics, but I had no idea that they made actual big chapter books based on mysteries. I had no idea that was a thing. So this is really exciting. I'm really excited to read this with you guys. This is the first book in the mysteries series, but if you notice, there's not a mysteries label for the series. There's a mystery label for the genre, but not for the series. And it's because these books are not in a continuous story. They are each in a different, they each take place at different times. They each have different events going on. This is the first book in the series. And I do believe there are 3 in the series, but they all are different stories. So you can read the third one and you won't be confused on the story and timeline. This book does have a new label for us. This book did come out in 2022, but we just recently got it a few months ago, so this is still new to us. So it will be down here in the juniors department in the new section. We do have another one of these books that are off on the shelves, but today we will be reading this one. This book follows the story of SpongeBob and Squidward trying to solve the mystery of Patrick's star going missing. That's very interesting. I wonder how he went missing. What happened? Where did he go? So, that being said, let's dive right in, shall we? SpongeBob SquarePants Mysteries, Find a Missing Star by David Lewman. Call me SpongeBob, a detective, a sleuth, a shamus, a private eye. Nothing fancy, just a guy with a nose for crime and a body built for absorption. I'm tough, see, as tough as my pants are square. But I wasn't always a detective. Time was when I was a simple fry cook flipping Krabby Patties at the Krusty Krab. Good at it, too. Hungry customers claimed I was the best thing to happen to Krabby Patties since sliced cheese and fluffy buns. Everything was swell. The diners were satisfied. I was working hard, and my boss, Mr. Krabs, was raking in the dough. Everyone was happy. Well, except maybe for my coworker, Squidward. Seems like that mug always had a sour look on his kisser. Good guy, though. Loved me like a brother. And as it turned out, when it came to detective work, a terrific partner. Anyway, life was sailing along as smoothly as a pirate ship on calm blue waters, until one fateful day when everything changed. Funny thing is, that day started out just like any other in Bikini Bottom. Upstairs in his pineapple under the sea, SpongeBob slept soundly, curled up on 3 thick mattresses, snoring with a soft, high-pitched whistle. He smiled as he slept, dreaming of jellyfish and soap bubbles. On the floor next to his bed, SpongeBob's pet snail, Gary, slept soundly too, dreaming of snail food and heroic adventures. Bwamp, bwamp, bwamp. SpongeBob's foghorn alarm blasted its booming alert, waking them both up in plenty of time for SpongeBob to get ready to go work at the Krusty Krab. Good morning, Gary, SpongeBob called out cheerfully. Ready for a fantastic day? Meow, Gary replied, still sleepy and a little disappointed to be snapped out of his heroic adventure before he finished eating the brimming bowl of snail food. After a quick shower with plenty of soap and bubbles, SpongeBob put on his brown square pants and white shirt. He tied his red tie in a perfect square knot. Finally, he slipped on his black shoes, polished to a high gloss until he could see his grinning face reflecting in their smooth, curved surface. His reflection smiled back at him and proclaimed, "You're ready." Downstairs in the kitchen, SpongeBob poured a generous dish of snail food for Gary and a heaping bowl of Kelpo cereal for himself. "Breakfast, Gary," SpongeBob announced. "Among the 3 most important meals of the day." After crunching down his tasty, nutritious breakfast, SpongeBob vigorously brushed his 2 front teeth and headed out the door. "Bye, Gary," he sang out, waving. "I'm off to the Krusty Krab to cook delicious Krabby Patties for the hungry citizens of Bikini Bottom." "Meow," Gary said, with his mouth still full of mushy snail po. He planned on going straight back to bed after SpongeBob left, hoping to resume his adventurous, delicious dreams. SpongeBob closed his front door and walked down the sidewalk with a spring in his step. It was a beautiful day at Bikini Bottom, and he felt happy to be alive. Whistling a jaunty tune, SpongeBob headed past Squidward's house and straight to Patrick's big brown rock. Bam, bam, bam! SpongeBob knocked on the boulder, hoping Patrick hadn't overslept. He was a sound sleeper. "Good morning, Patrick," he said. "Ready to walk me to work at the Krusty Krab?" Boing! The rock flipped open on its hinge with Patrick attached to the upper half, already fully dressed in his green and purple shorts. "You know it," he announced, hopping down next to SpongeBob. "Let's do this thing." The 2 best buddies marched off down the road towards the Krusty Krab. It wasn't far, so in just a few minutes they'd arrive at Bikini Bottom's favorite fast food eatery. SpongeBob had no idea his friend was about to disappear off the face of the sea. As he headed inside, SpongeBob asked, "So, what's the big Patrick Star plan for today?" "Huh?" Patrick asked, confused. "Did someone make a plan for me? What have you heard? Was it in the newspaper?" Chuckling, SpongeBob explained, "No, I just mean, what are you doing? What are you going to do all day? Work, play, sleep, explore a new hobby? Maybe a little coral cartography? Algae spotting? Trench tumbling?" Patrick looked away, not meeting SpongeBob's friendly, curious gaze. "Oh, I don't know," he said a little woodenly. "Just, the usual things that I, Patrick, do during the day. Normal Caesar stuff. Nothing out of the ordinary for me, Patrick." The end. "Sounds good, Patrick," SpongeBob said, grinning. "Have fun. Meet me right here outside the Krusty Krab after I'm done with work, and we'll have lots of best buddies fun together." He laughed, his high-pitched laugh sounding a little like a nervous dolphin being tickled with a feather. "You got it, buddy," Patrick said, waving back over his shoulder as he hurried away from the restaurant. "See you then." After my totally typical day of doing nothing at all unusual. SpongeBob worked hard that day, as he always did, frying up Krabby Patties, wiping off the tables, swabbing out the toilets, and doing everything else Mr. Krabs asked him to do. At the end of the day, he felt tired but satisfied with a full day of honest accomplishment. "What more can I ask for?" He thought to himself contently. "Another terrific day at the Krusty Krab." SpongeBob gushed to Squidward as they stuck their time cards into the machine, kept track of how many hours they'd worked. Thunk. "What was so terrific about it?" Squidward goused. SpongeBob laughed. "Oh, I don't know, Squidward," he said. "Just everything. The Krabby Patties, the customers, the smell of the fries, the spring of the spatula, the sizzle of the grease, but most of all, the camaraderie of the happy customers." Squidward looked as though he was going to be sick. "SpongeBob, the only good thing about a workday is when it ended. That was 2 minutes ago. Which means I don't have to talk to you anymore." He stomped out of the Krusty Krab, eager to change into his leotard and spend a long, sweaty evening in his modern dance class. He was learning a new routine that his instructor choreographed specifically for a 4-footed dancer. 3 of his feet were doing pretty well, but the 4th was still struggling with the steps. Ha ha ha! SpongeBob laughed. Good one, Squidward. See you tomorrow. Whistling a cheerful tune, he went to Mr. Krab's office and stuck his head in the door. Good night, Mr. Krab. See you tomorrow. Yeah, Mr. Krabs muttered, too busy counting his money to pay much attention to his devoted fry cook. Then he looked up from the pile of cash, remembering something. Tomorrow? That reminds me, boy. The mayor of Bikini Bottom is coming by for a very lucrative, important meeting. So you be on your best behavior and keep the Krabby Patties flowing. SpongeBob snapped off a crisp salute. Yes, sir, Mr. Krabs. You can count on me. I'd rather count me beloved money, Mr. Krabs said, turning back to his stack of bills and coins and giving them a few quick kisses. Good night, SpongeBob. SpongeBob hurried out of the front doors of the Krusty Krab, eager to meet up with his best friend. Oh, Patrick! He hollered joyfully. Wait till you hear about my day at the Krusty Krab. The patty flipping, the table wiping, the toilet scrubbing. SpongeBob stopped dead in his tracks. He looked all around, but Patrick wasn't there waiting for him.